What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets and Rob. How is everybody doing? Before I get started talking about why are the Mets pivoting to Blake Snell, don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button if you're enjoying my content. Want to see more? Want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live? You guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. All right, guys, so there's a lot of speculation, a lot of somewhat interesting reports that the Mets might be pivoting to players that they weren't the entire offseason. And is it true? Is it not? Is it a lot of smoke? Is there a little bit more real interest with the Mets and a DH bat or a guy like Blake Snell, who is the Cy Young Award winner and free agent? We know there was a lot of speculation that he's looking for $200 million around 6-7 years. And I don't think he's getting that from any team. We know the Yankees made an offer of 5 years, $150, around $30 million per year. But there has been a lot of talk about maybe he's going to transition to a short-term, high AAV deal. And we've seen this, the Mets have been known for doing this now with the Steve Cohen era. And it has been very popular amongst players. You get paid a lot of money per year. You can go back on the market rather quickly. And I do wonder at age 30 years old, is Blake Snell looking for that long-term security or to get paid per year, and maybe it'll be a 3-year deal with a first-year opt-out. Maybe it'll be a 3-year deal with a second-year opt-out, or a hell of a lot of incentives or deferrals, which has been very popular with the Dodgers. Is this possible that the Mets might be pivoting this offseason because of maybe all the pressure that Met fans have been putting on? Or have Steve Cohen popped up and came out of his shell and saying, look, David, I know this is what you're planning, but guess what? We need to make a splash. And a lot of Met fans, I know don't like Blake Snell. I'm one of them. But in Blake Snell's case, if you can get him on a short, high AAV deal, I think there's any problem with that if the Mets do that. The problem with Blake Snell is the long-term problem with a contract with Blake Snell. Now, per year, AAV, it doesn't really matter. It can be 35, 40, $45 million per year. I don't think that's the issue. I think the long term for any of the teams that are looking to sign Blake Snell is where I think the problem lies. High AAV, short-term deal. Would you do that, Met fans? That would be very interesting to look at. A couple of problems when it comes to Blake Snell, no matter if it's a short-term deal or long-term deal, is that he does not go deep in games. What is that? Why is that a problem? Well, you're going to use a lot more bullpen during his starts. And now you have to worry if this is the rotation. Even if Blake Snell is in this rotation with Kodai Senga and Quintana and Hauser and Minaya, you're relying on your other starters to go deeper in ball games. And let's be honest, there's a lot of starters in this rotation right now that could go innings. They're innings eaters. So maybe that's what the Mets thinking is why they might be pivoting to Blake Snell with a short-term high AAV deal. But he doesn't go deep into games. Never gone 8 innings in his career. And even though he pitched a lot of innings this year, as we'll look at his stats in a little bit, he's a 5-inning, occasionally 6-inning pitcher. And that's where you worry about with the Mets, because the bullpen, and you rely on the bullpen that has a lot of 1-year deals, guys that are, had bad years going into next year. It's something that you have to worry about if you're the Mets. But if it's a short-term deal, I think the Mets would actually take the chance with Blake Snell because he's a very interesting pitcher, and we'll look at his stats in just a second. But Blake Snell on a short-term deal would be very, very interesting. And I think that's why the Mets could be pivoting to Blake Snell. So let's look at the stats here and why it is such a hard play for the Mets or any team that's going to take on Blake Snell. But in the Mets case, it looks like this when it comes to his stats. Now, what I like is that he pitched 180 innings, the second most in his career. Most he did was 2018, the last time he was an All-Star, 180 and 2/3 innings. But look at the other innings, 107, 128. He doesn't go deep into games. That's why the innings are interesting. But what is very interesting is both of his Cy Young years is where he really dominated and looked really good and pitched a lot of innings. You do worry about the contract year. That worries you because if you look at his ERA throughout all the years that weren't Cy Young years, a couple of 4s in there, over 4 ERAs, 2022, 3.38, which is pretty good. This year was 2.25, but what I like is the 32 starts. He pitches every 5th day, and I keep on saying this all the time on my lives, on all my videos. If you get a rotation that goes out there every fifth day, and you don't have to worry about, placing guys in and out of the rotation as the Mets had to deal with last year, and you get guys that throw every fifth day, the team has a pretty good chance of being a 500 team just by having guys pitch every fifth day, because you know what you're getting from the guys that are in your rotation. And that's what's important with this rotation. If he can give you the inning, if he can go out there every fifth day, that's a win. But here's the problem. 99 walks. 99 walks, 180 innings in 32 starts. That's a problem. In the red right there, you see in that red box. But the strikeout rate is extremely high. He misses bats. He has a lot of people on base, but he gets out of these jams because he doesn't give up a lot of runs. So there's the give and take with Blake Snell, and why the problem lies with a lot of teams that are looking for a long-term deal for him, and why a lot more teams would go to a short-term deal, because there's a lot less risk there, right? If he's not very good over the next couple of years, at least the contract ends in 3 years or 2 years or even a 1-year high AAV deal, and he goes back on the market. The long-term deal is where people are a little bit worried. Now, I'm not worried about him striking out guys. He misses a ton of bats. He's going to walk people. But what you worry about, what if he loses a few ticks on his fastball in the next couple of years? If he doesn't miss the bats as much as he has. Now he's walking all these batters and can't put them away now. That's what you worry about with Blake Snell. But here's the main question. Should the Mets sign Blake Snell on a short-term high AAV deal? Oh, you're talking about, if you're doing these short-term deals, you're probably talking about close to $40 million per year. Again, he's a Cy Young Award winner. As much as you might not like him, doesn't give up runs. And that's the interesting part. Now, if he can continue missing bats, the walks are irrelevant because he doesn't give up those runs. He leaves a lot of men left on base, and that's important as well. So I'm going to ask you, Met fans, why are the Mets pivoting to Blake Snell? Is it because Blake Snell can't get that long-term deal, $200 million that he's looking for? Or the Mets really have to make a splash in this offseason, and they're concerned, and maybe Steve Cohen has stepped in here because of the pressure of the Met fans? I would be very interested if they deviate from their plan and sign Blake Snell. But look out for that, guys, because I think it could happen. If the market comes back to them, which it seems like it is, the Red Sox have been involved. The Yankees seem like they dropped out of this. The Mets, they could be the last one standing here. And I think they can outbid the Red Sox in this situation when it comes to the AAV. I think the money is not the issue. It's just the years. So let me ask you one more time, Met fans. Should the Mets sign Blake Snell to a short-term high AAV deal? Once again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button if you enjoy my content. Want to see more? Want to get notified when I post my videos and when I go live? You guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Is it pivot time for the Mets, Met fans? That's what we need to know. Should the Mets sign Blake Snell? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, Met fans, let's go Mets.